welcome to Connector Pods, commercial services group recruitment podcast for job seekers and employees alike.
Good afternoon, Cieran.
Afternoon, Joe.
Could you please let everyone know your job title and what it is that you do?
Yeah, so I work as Head of Qualified Social Work for Commercial Services. My job is really to go around our brands and to support our business managers, talent partners, really finding the best social workers for those local authorities and supporting in all of that, really.
Perfect, thank you. So if any listeners haven't seen already, Cieran has actually done a number of blogs on our website going over some of the DFE Statutory Guidelines and how this may affect you and what you need to do. So I do highly recommend reading those if you haven't already. That being said, Cieran, what actually are the DFE Statutory Guidelines?
So the DFE changes, or the guidelines, are really based upon reforming children's agency social work and how we kind of recruit them in the field. Really important to kind of highlight two dates. So from the 31st of October 2024, all new placements will be governed by these guidelines. And then local authorities have till the 1st of October 2025 to bring all legacy placements and contracts they might have that procure children's agency social workers in line as well. And they really focus on about 6 points. So first of all is working with price caps. So making sure that all social workers follow the price caps of that region. It's establishing post-qualified experience. So making sure every child social work assignment has 3 years post-qualifying experience. It's about making sure that project teams are brought in line to make sure they're in line with the caps and also IR35 legislation. It's also to really standardise references, so to make sure that local authorities are getting 2 professional references for every assignment they're engaging with, and also in allowing social workers to get a professional reference detailing what they've done in that local authority. The next is kind of notice periods, which is a big change. So matching notice periods to either a 4-week notice or to the substantive equivalent for that role. Also, branching off from the MOU, instilling a call-off period nationally. So making sure that permanent workers in the region will have to take a break outside before they're enabled to be engaged through the local market. And the last, which will be really interesting to see as we come up to reporting, is data. So making sure that every local authority is reporting accurately on its use of children's social workers, both pay, where we're engaging them from, also making sure that they're following these guidelines as well. So it's a really interesting time as we've only just passed the 31st of October to see how these guidelines kind of evolve in the next year and where they go from then. What I'm really encouraged about is the impact on project teams, because I feel like the restriction within these guidelines will really benefit framework agencies and really help us recruit stronger social workers into the field. So really excited to see how this develops over the next year.
Amazing, thank you. It's great to know the what's of what's to come. It'd be also great to know the why. Could you please walk us through these guidelines and what they're actually hoping to achieve with this?
So just walking you through kind of the DFE statutory guidelines, I think if we look at the main aim of the DFE guidelines, it's really to ensure that children and family are offered consistent and quality social work care, and really to prevent what we've seen is kind of unnecessary disturbances for children and families that are supported by social workers. It's also really to get an accurate report on how children's agency social work is provided regionally and then nationally, and then identify if there's any ways we can really improve this. The guidance is also to support social workers as well. So making sure they have enough time to complete handovers by extending that notice to 4 weeks, and also to obtain clear professional referencing, which can really support their career going forward.
Perfect. Thank you so much for going over that. So what impact do you think these statutory guidelines will have for local authorities and social workers?
I think it's really going to have some positive changes, really reducing and stopping projects and off-contract agencies. It will also allow local authorities to collaborate closer regionally and identify as a region how they can evolve to attract that top level social work talent. For social workers, I think it will allow them to have more time and consistency with their notice periods and actually obtain standardized references that detail how well they're doing in their performance. I think it's going to increase the number of QSWs looking for permanent work, and will be interesting to see how this affects the local market over the next year.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Cieran, for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you for having me. And I really hope that some of those answers have really given some knowledge to anyone who's looking for new roles in qualified social work. And if anyone has any queries or questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Yes, and just to reiterate, if you haven't seen them already, make sure to read Cieran's blogs on the same subject on our blog page on our website. Well, thank you for listening to this special interview episode with Cieran.
We'll be releasing an episode every month on Spotify, YouTube, and our own site, so make sure to subscribe to keep up to date. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to reach out to us, email connectorpods@gmail.com.
Connect with us again in the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah.